All right, so today is Friday the 17th. Pardon me, the 7th, not the 17th. The 7th of the 7th of November 2025. Now, earlier on at the beginning of the week, I did mention that tentatively we saw uh NFP, on the platform. But then it was tentative. It was tentative. No specific time was allotted to it, even though it was on Friday. And I said we just watch and see if it's still going to hold or not. And we can see on Forex Tracking this morning that it's no longer there. So I think US is still having this their shutdown until further notice. All right, Jamie is saying he can't hear me. Now I want to confirm, is there any other person that cannot hear me? Or better still, if you can hear me, type or say a yes. Can you all hear me? I'm typing that now. If you can hear me, please respond. Okay, so it's like a lot of people can hear me. Fanny can hear me. Fabulous can hear me. Mr. Ekpe Ambassador, you all can hear me. Thank you for your feedback. So Jamil, I'll need to do a response to Jamil. So Jamil, kindly log out, and log in again. All right, so that's my response to Jamil because every other person can hear me except him. All right, thanks to all who gave their feedback. So let's continue. All right, so NFP is not going to be holding today. It's been removed from the Forex Factory website. However, there'll be employment change and unemployment rate from Canada. That's Canada's own version of the same news. It's going to come out by 2:30 p.m. this afternoon. And by 4 p.m., there'll be prelim UOM consumer sentiment and prelim UOM inflation expectations. Now, this may not so much move the dollar, but then it's still going to hold by 4 p.m. But then our focus in the analysis today, I'll be looking at the news from Canada. That's the employment change and unemployment rate. So I'll give you my outlook on it as we proceed in the analysis. So I'm switching over to the chart. So on the chart this morning, market has been kind of quiet since the last couple of days. But then some volatility is expected today because of the news from Canada by 2:30 p.m. So then, as usual, we'll look at the dollar index because the dollar index helps us to get a clearer view of what might happen, across board on the major currency pairs like the Euro USD, GBP USD, and the likes. And the dollar index actually closed yesterday. We are having a kind of a reversal candlestick pattern right here on the resistance on the daily time frame. That's a doji in the middle, giving us an evening star outlook. But technically, it still boils down to an indication of a bearish move on the on the dollar index. That's the USDX. And conversely, we'll be checking the USDJPY. Now, at the beginning of the week, I said that USDJPY on the 4 hour, I had a bearish outlook. Even though on 1 hour also, we saw some bearish setup. Though within the week, I think on Wednesday, we had a slight bullish outlook on the short term and a bearish on the longer term. And the short term was able to move as expected based on the news we had anticipated that day, and I dropped the update. But then technically now we are back to the bearish outlook on the USDJPY. Price already broke out below the lower trend line, but then it's also touching a support. It's a key level, it's a resistance turned support. So it's in a kind of a retracement at the moment. I need to zoom out bigger. All right. So it's in a retracement. We'll be waiting for price to break out below that support zone to trigger a sell on the USDJPY. So right from the dollar index, we have a bearish outlook, and we're seeing a possible formation of that on the 4 hour, and we are waiting for the breakout to happen. Possibly today, we may experience, the market may give us that outcome. And don't always forget, your confirmation is that RSI should be below 50 when you want to take a trade on that. So we're bearish on the USD JPY. And the USD CHF also were bearish. I remember this one. I still analyzed this yesterday. Price did break out below that support zone, and we saw some slight bearish movement. This is a 1 hour of the USD CHF. We saw price drop to the tune of about 20 pips. Currently, it's experiencing retracement. But then the overall trend is still bearish, just like what we saw on the dollar index. So we're waiting for price to break out below this recent low for a continuation, you know, of a sell. Now, for both the USDJPY and USHF, if the data in the afternoon, the prelim consumer sentiment from US, if it comes out bad for the dollar, that would trigger a further bearish movement on this instrument. So technically, we're bearish, and if the fundamentals align with it, or even before the afternoon, if price is able to break out below the support zone or minor support or recent low, you may as well trigger a sell on the USD RSI is already below 50. We're awaiting further drop on the RSI as price drops lower. So we're bearish on both the USD and the USD. Now, the USD card. Now, I said that we're expecting news from Canada employment change and unemployment rate. And I'll be looking at the USD card and the Euro card for that news event. Now, for the USD card, we are bearish. We're bearish from the beginning of the week. We have a rising wedge. Let me go to the daily. Yeah, we have a rising wedge. This is a rising wedge pattern. Price has been making a series of higher highs, higher lows, and price recently hit this higher high, and technically the next wave of movement should be a higher low. Also, we have price descending lower on this trend line. So we ended up with a confluence at this point. We also with the previous support turned resistance. This area is an area of a very strong interest. Now, if we take it a step further, we'll see that price has been forming rejection candles at that confluence point. Two rejection candles in the last couple of days. That's telling you that price is not able to break out above those levels, except if the news comes out today and volatility breaks above that level. Technically, all I'm seeing is a potential for a reversal on the USD card. So if the data this afternoon comes out good for the Canadian dollar, we'll be expecting the USD card to go bearish. So we're bearish on the USD card. Very, very bearish on the USD card. And what I'm showing you is on the daily time frame. If you come down to 1 hour, this is what the 1 hour version looks like. So price is expected to drop, and if a new candle breaks out below the support, then we'll see a further bearish breakout on the USD card. Clearly with our RSI also below 50. So we're bearish on the USD card. So you see more activity around this instrument, when the data is released in the afternoon by 2:30 p.m. And same thing, similarly, I'm also bearish on the Euro card. So it's a choice. Either you want to trade the USD card or the Euro card for the news by 2:30 p.m. rather. The Euro card is equally bearish. Now for the Euro card, the analysis is slightly different, but still the same direction. Price has been trending up, making a series of higher highs, forming a rising wedge pattern. And then on the daily time frame, the candle of yesterday closed at a resistance zone. This is a resistance. So technically we're expecting, price to fall as we anticipate the release of the data this afternoon. So again, if the data comes out good for the Canadian dollar, we're expecting the Euro card to go bearish. And on the big picture, the Euro card, even though it's trending up, is equally getting ready for a reversal, because I'm seeing the formation of a shoulder, a head, and possibly a second shoulder, and that will lead to a final drop in price. And the data in the afternoon will play a very big role in ensuring that happens. So if that data comes out good for the card, it will ensure that price goes bearish. So that still is another way we can look at this analysis, that we're bearish on the Euro card. And finally, I'll look at the BTC USD. All right, so a couple of days ago, someone asked me for my view on BTC USD, and I said I was bullish because price touched a support on the 1 hour time frame. It actually started from the daily. This is the daily time frame version, and we can clearly see we were having a support, a very valid support zone. So if you take it back to the 1 hour, we can see we're awaiting a breakout of price to the upside again. So we're still bullish on the BTC USD. RSI has slightly crossed above 50, but then we need a clear candle to break out above this trend line for us to trigger a buy on the BTC USD. Ultimately, BTC USD might form a double bottom pattern, which will see price, break out higher. But firstly, what we need is a breakout above this level. So if you want to trade these two ways, either you wait for a new candle to break out above this area so that you can trigger a buy, or peradventure you missed that. Don't forget it's also forming a double bottom pattern. If you missed the first entry, there's a second entry after the price breaks out above the neckline. That can be a second entry for you to trigger a buy. So we're bullish on the BTC USD. All right, so that'll be all from my analysis this morning. I'll take some of the questions I'm seeing here. For those who are just joining us, let me just give you a little recap. We've analyzed a couple of instruments this morning. We are bearish on the dollar index, and as such, we're bearish on the USD JPY, we're bearish on the USD CHF, and we're bearish on the USD CAD. Now, the USD CAD and Euro CAD are two instruments I'm looking at out for with respect to the employment change and unemployment rate from Canada this afternoon by 2:30 p.m. And if the data comes out good for the Canadian dollar, I'll be expecting the USD CAD and the Euro CAD to go bearish. And the BTC USD is another asset I just checked, and we're bullish on the 1 hour. All right, so I'm looking at the request here. Mr. Jamie is saying I should check gold, and Prince Davidson is asking me to check GBP USD. So let's dive into these two instruments, gold and BTC. Sorry, gold and GBP USD. I think I'll take the GBP USD first. Now, don't forget that we are bearish on the dollar. We're bearish on the dollar, and that will affect our outlook on the GBP USD. So this is the GBP USD on the daily time frame. Let's go a little higher. All right, so price is reacting to a psychological level on GBP USD. Here we have a psychological level, price hit 1.3000 right there, and that is acting as a kind of a support. That's on the daily time frame. Good. So let's go to 4 hour and possibly 1 hour. Okay. All right. My MT4 is hanging, so it's not updating, but it's not updating on the 1 hour. But let's work with the 4 hour. Now I'm seeing the formation of what looks like an inverse head and shoulder is still in formation, and now inverse head and shoulder, all these kind of patterns, it works both on 4 hour, 1 hour. What I'm saying is that whatever you see on 4 hour is still possible to, it's still going to work the same way on 1 hour rather. So since we are bearish on the, now this is a confirmation that our analysis on the dollar indexes, which where is making us be bearish on the dollar is very correct, because now we're going to be looking at a bullish movement on the GBP USD. So we're having an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is a bullish reversal pattern. So if price breaks out to the upside above this neckline, we'll be looking at taking the buy on the GBP USD. So we're bullish on the GBP USD, both on 4 hour and even on 1 hour time frame. and gold. Now, gold has been in a range, even though we saw some slight breakout. I remember earlier on in the week, I gave a symmetrical triangle, price broke out to the downside. Yesterday, or a couple of days back, I also said price hit the support and we're expecting the breakout to the upside. That also happened, but the volatility has not really been much on gold this week, this particular week. Now, currently, gold is more or less in a kind of a range. Need to start my MT4 to see if it can refresh. Just a second.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Okay, okay. I wasn't hearing you.
Yeah, I said I have to restart my
Okay, sir.
MetaTrader.
Okay, sir.
It's not updating
All right.
and it's still not updating. Okay, we just need to do without it then. But then this is the last update it gave. I actually wanted to go to a lower time frame, but I won't be able to do that. I have to stick with the 1 hour. But at the 1 hour, it's actually in a range at the moment, very much in a range. So depending on how the market moves in the course of today, if the volatility pushes price to break out above the range, you may buy. If it breaks below the range, you may sell. No clarity on the on gold at the moment. So I'll also advise you trade it with caution since we don't really have any direction for it at the moment. So trade gold with a lot of caution. Okay, Prince Davidson, GBP, JPY. All right, this is GBP, JPY. I remember this analysis a couple of days back where I said price will go in the uptrend direction because of the what we can see on the daily time frame, and we actually saw that move up, yeah, from this point to the previous support turn resistance. It has done that particular move already. Okay, it's equally no. This is the 1 hour. It's still not updating. I can't give any view on this for now. Because the last candle shown here is that of yesterday. This is 6th. Sorry, I can't give you any outlook on GBP JPY for now. And EU. Now, I remember this Euro USD analysis very clearly. I said that on one angle, price is expected to drop to touch this key level, but on the other side, this red line itself is a key level that dates back to price has always reacted to it since way back 2012 or something like that, that we may see some reaction. Now, that reaction already took place. Price, it all depends now if the outcome or how the market goes today. We have a bearish outlook on the dollar index. So price might just have to go up, possibly to hit this trend line before we now see a move downwards. But then what we have concerned about for the Euro USD is an uptrend for today. We have a bearish outlook on the dollar index, so we'll be taking an uptrend on the Euro USD. All right, so I need to stop the analysis here. Like I said, my MT4 is not updating. I won't be able to take further questions for now. For those who just joined us, just watch out. I'll drop the link to the video in your groups. Make sure you watch it again to get a clearer insight into the analysis for today. All right, we end is right here. Trade safe and have a great day and a good weekend ahead. Bye bye.